Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It's Candy here from SweetStamper.com, and I'm here with your Facebook Live, not live today, because this is a pre-recorded video. I am in England enjoying time with my son and his family and which includes my two youngest grandchildren. So we are having a great time, but before I left, I wanted to make sure that I was here where I said I would be, and that is every Tuesday and Thursday for Facebook Live at 4:00 p.m. Central Time at facebook.com/sweetstamper. So here I am with a suite that I'm going to show you here. It's actually what's called a mega suite in the Stampin' Up world. And this is in our mini catalog. This goes all the way through the end of June. So a lot of us are in the midst of new catalog fever because our new annual catalog was just released. But all of these items go through June, and many of them have carried over, and that includes both stamp sets and bundles from this mega suite. Now, a mega suite includes 2 bundles with coordinating products, and I'm going to use one of those bundles today. Let me show you. So here you can see the whole thing. This actually even has a Memories and More card pack, cards and envelopes, so many elements to this suite. And I'm going to be using the Designer Series paper today. And I'm not using the doilies, believe it or not. This has been one of my favorite products in this mini catalog, but I am using this embossing folder, which is also carrying into our annual catalog. So that is where we are going. Let me show you very quickly the papers, because they're really gorgeous. So this set of Designer Series paper has really kind of an interesting mix. This is all that I have left of this piece from this pack. I'm going to be featuring this today. It has all these really, well, not the 3 of these, I should say, are really sweet little calico, what I would call calico prints. These remind me of, just little fabrics that you would wear like in a blouse or a sweet dress or an apron. This one is just really kind of unique. This is Misty Moonlight, which just recently retired, kind of a blue denim color, really versatile. And then we've got all of these bright greens from Garden Green, kind of a leafy, gardeny image. And then the back of all these prints, and this is called Heart and Home Designer Series paper. They are all basic gray and white, various patterns of wood prints. And so they're super versatile. You can do so many things with them. I love the fact, you can stamp right on these. You can do all kinds of things. I love the fact that you can do masculine with the back side and feminine with the front side. So just saying, there's a lot of versatility here. Okay, so this is a card that I featured at my sneak peek event. So I was doing mini catalog and new annual catalog things. And I will also tell you that once again, I have 2 packets left over from this class, and I'm going to be drawing names from the comments to receive these card packets for free in the mail. So I've also got another little freebie I'm going to be sending out. So that's part of my, part of my extras I'm doing for the time that I am away. And you are very faithfully tuning in. So this is Pale Papaya. I have an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Pale Papaya cardstock that is scored and now folded at 4 1/4. And then I am going to take, this is a piece of 3.5 by 5 1/4. This is, I just lost the name of it. This is a recently retired cinnamon cider cardstock. I love this cardstock. If you didn't get it before you retired, contact me. I think I have 1 packet left over, but this is fantastic. It reminds me of leather. And so when you emboss it, it's really lovely. And then I have a piece of that cinnamon cider Designer Series paper. And we're just gonna put these right beside each other. And I will have the PDF tutorial for you. Well, it's a inspiration sheet with the measurements and all of the products I've used. I believe this is 1.5, this is 3.5, and they're each 5.25. So let's go ahead and stick these down, and then we're going to put a focal piece on here. Let's start with the flatter piece. You see that wood grain? Isn't that cool? Wood grain done in basic gray and white. So it's wood grain, but it's a little bit cooler than a lot of times we see our wood grain with more of your oaky colors. You do want to make sure this does have bees flying in a certain direction. You don't want to get them upside down, so just kind of take a moment and think about that whenever you're sticking down a piece of designer series paper. Even the ones that you sometimes think this doesn't really have a directional pattern, look closely and it might just. Now this has been run through with the Hive 3D embossing folder, really cool. And that is my canvas now for my little art piece. So I'm not using the dies that go with this stamp set. So this stamp set does have dies with it, like so, but I'm actually not using the dies. I'm using the stamps and I'm using some other dies. So this is the tailored tag, let me think. Tailor-made tags. Grab this. So these are really cool dies with all these tags and little reinforcements if you want to add them. So really versatile dies. And again, that will be in my list of products used. I'm actually going to use basic gray. I didn't want to go with black. I'm going to stamp this flower and I'm going to color it in with the blends. I didn't want to use black because this is really soft colors. And this has a lot of basic gray. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use basic gray. It's an excellent way to, anytime you're wanting your colors to be a little bit softer than black, basic gray is a great option. So if you do not have basic gray in your set of inks, I would strongly encourage you to get that. And then while I have this open, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my greeting. I'm choosing Stay Wonderful. Now this is the rectangle stitched dies. Stay Wonderful, I can put Happy Birthday on the inside. If I want to later, I can just leave it Stay Wonderful as a card that I'm sending somebody. But I do like that kind of versatility. Now I will say that I'm gonna put this panel on the inside, 5.25 by 4-inch panel, and I think what I'm gonna do is I am going to grab one of these bees. I don't even have a block over here. Let me grab one. And just to bring in that same motif of bees, I'm gonna put a couple of bees on the inside of my card. So I'll put one, let's see, one here, and you know, I think that's going to be enough. Sometimes less is more. Okay, now I am going to color my flowers and my bee. Now I am using Pale Papaya, which is a pretty obvious choice for this card, but then I wanted a little bit of green, but I wanted it to be soft, so I pulled in Soft Succulent. Both of these are in colors that were released in 2021, so we have another full year with them. And the in colors are something that Stampin' Up! Does every year. We get a set of 2 in colors, and they last, not a set of 2, a set of 5 in colors. What am I saying? They last for 2 years. And they're colors that brighten things up, that freshen up our color palette, that give us fresh colors to play with and design with. And oftentimes they're very trendy colors that you see in the design world. And sometimes they end up coming back and becoming some of our core colors. So all I'm doing is just using both of my blends to give a little bit of variety to my green. See that little pop of green, how that brings just a little bit of color there, because these are going to be primarily some Pale Papaya, and I'm going to do the dark Pale Papaya in my flower buds and in the center of my flowers. And then I'm going to come back in with the light pale papaya, and I'm going to color in the rest of my flower. So bear in mind whenever you're using your Stampin' Blends markers that they will dry a little bit lighter than when you're actually using them. So if you're in doubt and you're really wanting to get your color exact, the shade exact, just put some on a piece of scrap paper and stamp your image, color it in, and then let it dry for 5 minutes and then come back to it. And then you'll be a lot happier to make sure that's exactly the way you want it. Now this is really soft and sweet, perfect for where I'm going. And I'm just going to color this little guy in with pale papaya and leave the rest of him blank. Now maybe I'll just color him in all the way. Yeah, it looks pretty cute. Okay, so, and you can hear when I close my blends, I like to close it and then pop it down on the table and press until I hear that nice loud click. That tells me it's totally closed. And because these are alcohol markers, they will dry out easily if you leave them open. So you want to make sure that they're closed tightly. Now I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. And then I'm going to put that little panel on the inside, and we're going to do just a couple of finishing touches here. This is a very quick and easy card. You can take this layout with these measurements here with designer series paper and embossed paper, and do it in a whole host of ways. So I like to give you layouts that you can use over and over again. And I'm going to pop this down the left, which is a little different than what I often do. So, but because I'm angling my focal point this way, and I'm going to put one dimensional over here and then seal here, because this is already popped up. And so if I put another dimensional here, it's going to be kind of funky. Okay, that's there. Now this is the pale papaya open weave ribbon, and I've already tied it in a bow because that's the way my card kits come. They have the bows tied, unless you get a full roll of ribbon. If you get a full roll of ribbon with your class, then obviously you're going to use that ribbon as you choose. But when you do just a card kit like this, it has everything ready to go. And I think I'm just going to leave those tails a little bit long, maybe trim them a tiny bit. Now this open weave ribbon in all of the in colors from last year, these all carried over into our annual catalog, and they're really, really lovely. So this is looking super sweet. Now I am going to, I need to put this on the inside, and then I am going to add just a little bit of embellishment. And I'm going to show you where I'm going, because we're going to do things a little bit different. There were some of the in color elements from last year that retired, and some that carried over. Did I do it? Nope. Okay, stayed white. Let's pop this right in here. This is just my 5 1/4 by 4 inch panel. Oh, I do have one other little thing to add there. Let's see if I've got just a little wee strip of 5 1/4 inch leftover strip. I think this is like about a 1/2 inch or so of designer series paper. So I'm just going to bring that right in there to give a little bit of interest to the inside of my card. Looks really finished that way. And what I'm going to do is, these were in our catalog last year and they just retired. I have a full set unopened, and I'm going to give this away to some lucky person from the drawing in the comments below. So make sure you leave comments, and somebody is going to get a pack of these in the mail for free. They're really nice, and I'm going to use, this is soft succulent, but I will say that these are just jade, and they really coordinate quite nicely if I want to bring out the green, Or if I want to bring out more of the cinnamon cider, I could do something like that. But I think, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do these right here just to kind of change things up a little bit. And these are square gems. And they're quite shiny and they have like little facets on them. So I'm just going to do 3 gems in a row. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a super quick and easy card. And I used the stamps, but not the dies. So just to show you that you might want the stamps and you may not want the dies. I love the dies, but I like the versatility that you can use the stamp set with or without the dies. So again, leave your comments, and I have a couple of card kits to give away as well as a package of these square gems. Thank you very much for tuning in. Before I leave you, let me just remind you that I'm also running a special in my absence, and that is mystery boxes that will ship out on the 30th after I get home. And I get home on the 23rd, which is why this special runs May 3rd through the 23rd. So if you use my host code and you place a minimum $50 order for anything you want, I'm gonna send you a mystery box. And my mystery boxes have at least a single stamp set. Some of them have more. It will have at least a stamp set and some cardstock and some designer series paper. Now I've got a lot of other things I'm throwing in there too. I've got some adhesive, I've got some punches and some dies and all kinds of things. Now these are, some of them are new and retired or gently used and retired. And of course the papers are brand new, and I've got some embellishments, ribbons, and all kinds of extra little goodies I'm gonna be throwing into these mystery boxes. So make sure you head over to, you can just go to stampinup.com. You don't even have to go to my website in particular. When you use this host code, it ties your order into my workshop order, which is how I'm going to know that you've placed an order with my mystery box special. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your viewership. I appreciate you so much. Take care and God bless.